What's good, guys? Welcome back to Missing Person Case Monday. Your girl may look happy, but I'm so mad because I filmed this video for you guys. It was edited. I went to go share it and it did not freaking go over because I have a new Sims card that I bought because I really wanted to get back on track for you guys. And yeah, it just did a like 360 on me, the devil's work. But nonetheless, I'm sitting here at 7:57 p.m. about to redo this video for you guys. So bear with me. I'm so mad. The video was so good. But nonetheless, welcome back. I'm your host, Stephanie. Things happen. That is life. But welcome back to Missing Person Case Monday. If you've been tuning in with me and if you are new, Mondays are dedicated to focus on those who have been missing, whether it's been a day, whether it's been a year, whether it's been 10 plus years, we still share their stories because I'm very big on getting those stories out there. Now today, guys, we're going to be focusing on 37-year-old Rico Harris. Rico went missing on October 10th of 2014. And his story is really bizarre and strange. I know I say that in almost all my videos, but when I think things cannot get any weird, it gets weirder. Yeah. But Rico, he was listed from his family and friends as a gentle, cuddly bear. You know, you ever meet someone who's just really shy, but they're just so calm in spirit and their personality is just someone you really want to be around? Well, Rico was that type of individual. His family and friends said he was shy, but he had such a great spirit and you wanted to be around him. So in his teenage life, he was so focused on wanting to be a professional basketball player. He wanted to follow in his dad's footsteps because his father was a semi-professional basketball player. But as life goes, Rico went off to college. He played basketball for the college, but then life began to take a spiral for him. While he was at the Arizona State University, Rico got into some trouble here and there. Although he was never charged, you know, typical teenage things. Well, not even teenage, a young adult things. But after that, he ended up transferring to another college and this led him to his first state championship. Life was going so good for him. As things would go, he ended up getting hired by the Harlem Globetrotters. Probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but he ended up going there and he played, but his journey would come to an abrupt end because he got injured and his basketball career kind of came to an end. And in this moment, this is where his life began to spiral out of control. For over what I have read for about 7 years, for about 6 to 7 years, he kind of went through this daunting thing, you know, trying to figure out what was his next step, getting in trouble for intoxication. You know, not that these things matter, but it's very important that we touch on some of the key aspects of what has led up to his disappearance. Because as I'll go through this story, you'll kind of want to understand who Rico was. But the beauty in this, Rico was able to get his life in order. He sobered up, and this is where he met Jennifer. He met Jennifer in 2012, and his life began to blossom. You know, Jennifer was an insurance broker, but she lived in Seattle, Washington. But she met Rico by being in California. And the crazy thing about that is they blossomed. Like anybody, when you meet someone, you go and you want to do this long distance relationship. So then as the relationship grew, Rico decided that he was going to move with Jennifer in Seattle. 2014 is all when this kind of happened. But then Jennifer begins to state that later in the year, about September of 2014, she's seen a change in Rico. And it had come out that Rico was actually using again. So now as we fast forward, on October 8th of 2014, Rico told Jennifer that he wanted to explore Seattle. While she was at the gym, she didn't think nothing of it. He's exploring Seattle, trying to figure out this new home that he's about to call home. And that's kind of when the story goes like crazy, y'all. Because when Jennifer comes back to the home, Rico isn't there. So she calls him, tries to figure out, where is he at? She ended up finding out that he was actually driving through Oregon to get back to his hometown in California. So around 2 a.m. on October 9th, Rico stumbled upon his mother's home. And what was kind of upsetting for his mother was she didn't like the fact that he came to her home intoxicated. So Rico had been driving for a long period of time, and she also was a little frightened because he had not been asleep, and it has said that he was not asleep for over 40 hours. So later that night, Rico's mother suggested that he spend the night because she wanted him to get some sleep. She really did not feel safe sending him back on that road to go back home to Jennifer, and you're like dirt tired. And if you've ever been cranky or not getting enough sleep, then you know how that can go. No one wants to be deranged. At 1 a.m. on October 10th, he called his mother, basically letting her know he was on the road. She didn't even know he had left, and he was making his way back to the home because he actually had an event the next day that he wanted to go to, which was supposed to be like a barbecue with his neighbors. Eventually around 8 a.m., Jennifer calls Rico to see where he is. Rico states that he's in the Sacramento area getting gas. Cool. Nothing else was thought of. So as time goes on, Jennifer is trying to check back in with him, but Rico does not answer. When Rico did not arrive at Jennifer's home, Jennifer calls Rico's mother. And this is where she begins to worry. Maybe we should do a missing person thing because Rico hasn't shown up, calling his cell phone, he's not answering. But Rico's mother was like, let's just wait. Maybe you know how it is, like, well, maybe the phone died, maybe he ran out of gas, maybe something that can be explained. On October 12th, this is when Rico's story takes that turn. So the Yolo County Police Department ends up finding a Nissan Maximum car, which was in fact Rico's. But before he ended up finding out this was Rico's, he seen the car parked on the side in the National State Park. And anyone who has been to a state park knows that people park their cars up and down these state parks all the time, especially if you've ever been to one where it's a lot of woods. Well, duh, they have a lot of woods, but a lot of trails pretty much. So people park their cars all the time, so you don't think nothing of it. But the next day, the police officers seen the same vehicle in the same position. So this is when he ran the license plate and ended up finding out that this was in fact Rico Harris's car because, of course, Jennifer and Rico's mother had reported him missing. Law enforcement believed maybe Rico had just stopped to get some fresh air. His car was searched. It had appeared that his car was ransacked. As things began to go on, a man had reported that he found Rico's book bag and cell phone. And when the book bag and cell phone were turned in, his book bag did not appear to have any signs of trouble. And when they found Rico's cell phone and actually did their investigation, it come to find out that there was a video of Rico in which he did not know he was filming himself. And you can see the car look like it was crazy. Like he was just throwing CDs. He was just doing different things in the video. It wasn't really specified, but they did say that he was the reason why the car was looking crazy. Law enforcement believed maybe Rico had ran out of gas because when they searched the vehicle as well, Rico's battery was dead and he ran out of gas. So law enforcement believed maybe he had hitchhiked to try to go and get a ride home. But this is the crazy thing. His vehicle was found literally 50 miles from where he needed to be in order to get to Seattle. So law enforcement didn't understand why he was 50 miles away from the interstate of where he needed to be. And it could be, like law enforcement said previously, how maybe he just wanted to take a scenic route. He wanted to get some air, and then his car decided to just go out on him. You know how those things go when you're driving like tons and tons of miles. But as the search continues, locals in the area said that they had seen a man wearing the same clothing as Rico, but nothing really ever panned out. And you would think a guy that is like 6'9", you would be able to find him. But there was no signs of Rico. There was no signs. Law enforcement did ping his cell phone, and his cell phone, which was away when they found the guy who, good thing you have good people who if they find something, they turn it in, because his cell phone was like far away from where the vehicle was. So it's like a lot of different things that happen, but it's like, what happened to him? What happened? And of course, Rico's background was in question. Because Rico had drug abuse in the past, many of the officers were trying to understand what led him to this direction. Was it because he was looking for some things? And many in his family, basically, well, his mother and girlfriend, basically didn't understand why law enforcement was going down that avenue. And for me, outsider looking in, I can understand why, because if Rico was back on drugs like previously, because the months before Jennifer had basically found out that he was back using, you just never know if a person is going in this direction to get drugs. Not that it matters and not that it's coming for this person's character. So I do want to say that, because I never want to talk about no one's loved one. But when these things happen, you have to be mindful of all the information, because you just never know. You think you know someone, you really don't know them. Trust me. Then 1 month into the investigation, cadaver dogs had found an area in the lake. One article says pool, but I'm gonna say lake, because you would think it would be a lake in a wooded area, that they kind of got like a scent in the deep end. So that area was searched, but there was no signs of Rico. And to this day, there has not been any new information regarding his disappearance. There has not been any theories. There has not really been any solid, concrete information regarding him. And from what I did read, like I said previously, law enforcement was wondering if his mental was even in the right capacity. But who knows? We don't know that information, regardless of what his past was, you know. And I hate when people do that, but it's like, you just never know what a person is going through. And it's truly sad. But I do pray that his family gets the answers, because it's strange. It's a strange occurrence of like, this person just gets up one morning, yeah, I'm gonna go back, visit home, and then you don't ever see them again. And then when you're driving in those long miles, anything can happen. So like I said, there has not been a lot of information. That's why it's so important to keep sharing their stories, so that we can get their names out there and we can keep discussing it, because you just never know what can happen. But that is Rico Harris' story. He is missing. He is still missing. He has not been seen since October 10th of 2014. And his family deserves to know what has happened to him. So I'm sending his family love and light. And I'm praying this video uploads, because it's, but nonetheless, I'm really praying for his family. You know, I just can't even imagine what his family is wondering. So that's Rico Harris's story, guys. And I will see you until the next missing person case. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new to the fam. And don't forget to leave me any stories that you want me to touch on. So guys, until the next video, I'll see you.